is the blood and bone of eBookery Club. eBookery Club was started by Faisal Ibrahim and Anil Thomas, and we have an amazing volunteer group here. As you can see in the screen, Santosh, Sarita, Niyas, Said Haris, Ranira, Jayashri, Virisha, and Vamsi. Myself, there are many other who we couldn't fit into the poster, but they are very much working hard to put the show live every week. We had amazing 17 chapters till now. We had 34 speakers introducing 34 amazing books all throughout the session, week after week, and we have been growing amazingly. And we have had reviews all throughout the globe, from India, from the GCC, from Africa, from the UK and the US. These are all the previous speakers that you see in screen right now. And now, story time. So I was actually thinking, what story do I tell you? I mean, every day we are coming with different stories. And what do I tell you this week? So, one fine day, there was a young lady who was traveling in a very congested bus. In between all this chaos, there entered an elderly woman into the bus. She had a lot of bags in her hand and a lot of things she was carrying in her hand. And she went and sat beside the young lady. And when she went and sat next to the young lady, the young lady has to squeeze herself to a corner and sit really congested. And she was really finding it difficult to adjust in that small space. And a guy who was watching all this, he was really getting upset and angry at the situation, what the young lady was going through. So this guy asked the young lady, "Why don't you react to this woman? Why don't you tell her to keep her belongings elsewhere or else find another seat?" The young lady, with a polite smile, responded to the guy, "Why should I give so much importance to such a small thing and react or fight over it? I will get down from this bus in just a few minutes. Our journey together is just a little longer only." Now, this short story has a very, very powerful message to deliver, that we all keep a lot of grudges against people, against whosoever has did something bad in certain situations or circumstances. We carry that baggage all throughout our lives many times. But the realization what we have and what we should have is that it is just a little longer that our journey is. We'll just be with each other for a little more time. We don't need to keep all these grudges and all these things in our mind. Just don't react or be angry for that situation. Just let it be. We don't know how long our journey is. Now, let's move on to the next slide. This is what we have for you today. We had the networking session. The welcome and story is done by me. Now we'll move on to the speaker's introduction, and then we'll have the review. After that, we'll have the audience interaction, then the second speaker, then the same drill. We'll have a audience interaction again, and then the vote of thanks and the closing. So, to introduce the very amazing two speakers today, I would like to call upon Anil Thomas, who's again the the elder brother of the group, and he is the most supportive. And this is his idea that we are all sitting here week after week, enjoying the reviews and meeting more people. Over to you, Anil.
Thank you, Sanish, for that power-packed introduction in the early time. Very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Two elegant ladies are joining us today to grace eBookery English platform. Let me introduce Anu Abraham in short. Anu Abraham is an abundance coach. Abundance coach usually believes in God's purpose for your life journey and believes in higher calling in everything. She's an energy alchemist to core, I believe. I could attend few training programs with Anu, and they were so meaningful to me. She's also a social media evangelist, ex-banker, ex-Airtel manager, and is going to unfold the book, The Go Giver, the 5 laws of stratospheric success from a famous consultant and several go givers who are extremely successful in their business and career. And is a talented woman, and I'm very sure she'll do the justice to this great book. Let me respectfully welcome one and only Anu C.B. Abraham. Thank you, Anu, for coming.
Thank you so much, Anil. Hello, all. Bookery Show. I'm here because of Anil. I heard Sanish introducing Anil as elder brother. I think Anil is younger to me. Can't say elder brother, but I am here because of him. Yes, Sanish. And I guess you guys are holding a wonderful show here. I'm logged in from the beginning of the call, and I was listening to the conversation. I guess you're a very close-knit family. Huh? You all know each other. Let me know who all I know. I know only Anil here looks like. I spoke to Vinisha yesterday on LinkedIn. I guess 1 or 2 messages. I'm told Srini is around here. I know Srini. Oh yeah, I saw Srini. How are you, Srini? Awesome, great. So welcome. So I can see most of the closed blocks. I can only read the names. Thank you, Sindhu, for opening the video. Thank you, Sanish, for opening the video. Niaz, thank you. It's nice to talk to people, rather than talking to the boxes. Yeah. I feel like there is someone listening to me. Otherwise, it's like...
It's great to have an interaction, and I'm gladly waiting for your presentation.
Thank you so much. Awesome. So why are we here? The people in the boxes, I hope, as someone said, not watching IPL. If you are here logged in, thank you, Vidya, for opening the video. If you are here, why are you here? Anyone? Help me out, guys. I am new in your group. Why are we here?
We're here for you, Anu.
Oh, seriously, Sanish? Come on.
just to hear you speak.
No, that's something else. Now I'm not going to give any speech. I don't believe in speeching. To share and gain. Thank you, Khadija. To learn a new thing every weekend. Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you, ladies. You are courageous. Thank you for speaking up. I hope you're not cooking, huh? Your video is not on. No, it's out of my experience, whenever you have this online training, people have this, I'm cooking or I'm, talking to my, children or, handling something else. And then, because it is very convenient nowadays. Everything is too convenient nowadays, I guess. Yeah. To connect to people. Thank you for being honest, yeah, Sindhu. That was awesome. Manjusha, hello. Cool. So, I guess let me start with a story, not the story of Go Giver, okay? Okay. Anil, I hope you're not going to get disappointed.
No. I know you.
I don't want to be rude here, but let me start with a fantastic story. And when I heard this story once, it gave me a very different perspective about what I am doing there where I was sitting. I just went to the session because someone called me, or I just went to the session because, hey, I got just habitual to talk to a few people, or a friend of mine invited me. So this lovely speaker started the entire session with an amazing story, and I thought I want to share the same thing with all of you before even I start the session. So there was this village of ducks, you can call it flock of ducks, but it's my story. So I want to call it village of ducks. It's fine, right? So there was this village of ducks. They were living very happily, quacking away all the day and night. And there was this eagle, this eagle that used to fly above this lovely village every single day. And these ducks used to look at this magnificent flight of this amazing, big, huge eagle every single day. Few of them used to look at the eagle and say, wow, how can he fly? Others will be, out of envy, they say, ha, it's okay. We just have to, eat and we have to sleep. Why do you have to show off? Why do you have to fly every single day? Then few of them will ignore, there was one duck in this entire how do you say, village, who used to look at this eagle and wanted to know, how does this eagle fly? I also have wings. This eagle also has wings. How can I exit the screen? Okay, sorry, so I also have this screen. I also have this wings. This eagle also has these wings. How can he is flying and we are not? So one of the day, this duck waved into this eagle. And the eagle came down, and the duck asked, you know what, eagle, I always used to think, how do you fly and we don't? And eagle said, actually, even I wonder, I see your entire village, all of you are birds. You're so beautiful. How don't you fly? So the duck said, you know what, I'm going to gather all my villagers, all my, duck friends, my family, and why don't you teach us how to fly? Eagle said, fantastico, why not? I would love to. So he said, tomorrow, 5 o'clock, let's gather and I will teach you how to fly. So 5 come next day, they all gathered. And few of them said, Arey, what is this? My father didn't fly, my father's father didn't fly. How can we fly? It's okay. The others said, oh, it's just another one, another guru who is on there and going to teach us something which we are not born for. This is not what we are supposed to do. But of course, as there are some rebels there in all the communities, so some of the ducks got together with this duck and they went to a mountainside, and this eagle came to teach them. 5 o'clock sharp, they all logged in and they said, okay, now we are going to learn something new. We are going to network and we are going to fly. So the eagle taught them how to fly. He first said, from a small height, he told them how to jump from a small height, then a little bit higher height. And all of them, one by one, they flied a bit, landed on the ground, and all of them actually flied, and all of them clapped at the end. Fantastic session. We enjoyed it. Amazing, And eagle was so happy because he taught the ducks how to fly. At the end, what happened? Eagle took the flight and he fly. And what did the ducks do? Ducks walked back to their village, quacking. Quack, 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 quack. So I don't know how many of you connected to it, but I felt I'm not here to quack anymore. So if I learn something new, it will make sense to me only when I apply, otherwise learning is not helpful. I'm a fan of empowerment, and my workshops are all empowering workshops. That is why the book I read and refer are also self-help books. Now, there's this thing about empowerment. Empowering comes when one is willing to get empowered. Self-help books are not the kind to go into I know it shelf. We all have this I know it shelf, right? Yes, all of you have all those books in this I know it, I have it shelf. But empowerment books or self-help books are the ones which needs to get translated into I am by I do. This is a powerful book for those who are looking for a breakthrough in their life. Breakthrough, now that's a very important word and I will get back to it later. Before that, I want to share about a mindset. One mindset I already shared about ducks. How many of you got it? Thank you, Nias. Thanks, Anish. There's one more mindset I want to talk about, and it's very important. We say, when I have, I will become, and then I will do. But the law of universe or God is, when you do and you become, then you will have. You have to listen to it carefully. Do you understand this? Do, be, and have law. Let me repeat. We say, when I have money, I will become rich and then I will do. God says, when you do the work and you become the person, then you will have success. Do, be, and have. Opposite to our law. Our law is have, be, and do. God's law is do, be, and have. Do what is required to become successful, become the person who deserves success and have success. Got it? And that is the message this book also gives. It is a self-help book, Go Giver. It is for those who are looking for a breakthrough, who are looking for that answer which will transform their life 180 degrees. So when we say, I'm sure most of you will relate to it, what I'm going to say now, working very hard, working for a very long time, hustling for a long time, hustle so much so that you forgot to eat, you forgot to sleep. Have you been in that rut for long enough time and starting to feel enough is enough? This book is for them who are here at this stage, who have started to believe enough is enough of this hustling. So have you heard of this term breakthrough? All of us have, right? A breakthrough deal, a breakthrough opportunity, a breakthrough project. Yeah, come on. Anyone want to share what is the meaning of breakthrough? Have you heard of this word breakthrough? Anyone want to say what is breakthrough? I thought we are friends now.
When you're able to achieve something.
Yes.
A dramatic discovery.
A dramatic discovery. Fantastic. True.
Yeah, a significant change.
A significant change. Awesome. Lovely. Breakthrough.
So achieve something which was, earlier thought impossible from a personal perspective.
True. True. So we all have gone through, we all have experienced that breakthrough. Yeah. So when we said, oh, this is the breakthrough opportunity. This is the breakthrough project. This is the breakthrough moment when I got a solution. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing. So when you are pushing hard for a solution and you reach a point where it is all choked, no air and no light, suddenly it breaks open and you get this fresh air and new light. It happens only to those who persist long enough, right? Whoever has replied to me or whoever has not replied to me, but understand what is this breakthrough I'm talking about. You experienced it when you really persisted long enough. And we call it a new opportunity, right? Now, do you know a breakthrough big enough that it becomes life transforming? Life transforming. Anil introduced me as abundance coach. Abundance is life transforming, and I'm an empowerment coach actually. So, do you know what is life transforming? Life transforming is something which is permanent. And what is permanent? Anything outside of you is never permanent. Permanent is what is inside of you. When it is opened within and not pushed open. The door that I was pushing for long opened when I pulled within. How many of you understand what I said just now? The door that I was pushing for long opened when I pulled within. That's the experience this book gave me. I was hustling, working hard, no time for food or sleep, meetings after meetings, new markets, new people, new concepts, 1 week's target followed by another week's target. Nothing is enough. Every week is a new start. I was beginning to get doubtful about this entire concept of success, That was a time when a kind soul suggested me to read this book. It was 2017 when someone told me to read this book. But I was too busy to read it. And then I realized maybe I was not ready to understand the concepts of these books. Maybe that's why I never read it. But you know what? What has happened to happen? 2018 New Year, along with 2 other books, this book got gifted to me by someone. And along with 3 books, I guess. And this book completely changed my life. I call it my epiphany moment. Now, not when I received the book, and also not when I completed the book, that is, I read the book. It's when I applied the principles of the book. That's when I got the epiphany moment. This book showed me secret to success. I apply every principle of this book today, not just in my business, but also in my life. And that's how I am here in this session also. And this book also had the same message, The coach here tells the hero, I will share the secret to success with you on one condition, just one condition. You will test every single law that I share by actually trying it out, not by talking about it or thinking about it, but by applying it in your life. You get this? It's amazing, right? That is one of the dialogue from the book. There's not even one dialogue there's not even one statement in the book which will not, give you goosebumps. Now, when we talk about, it's not just thinking about it, talking about it, it's about applying every single principle. It reminds me of a conversation I had with a friend of mine yesterday. Now, she is into some cyber security product. She launched some cyber security product. This protect yourself online, protect your information online, all those things. So she was sharing me obviously she was trying to sell the product, and she was sharing some sad sob stories of people whose, account got compromised and all those stuff. And then, unknowingly, maybe, in the flow of the conversation, just mentioned how her account got compromised 2 weeks back, I guess, after, and then this is her line. Even I, who know everything and teach everyone, my account got compromised. And I was thinking, sweetheart, because it is not about knowing, it is about doing. Maybe you're not applying what you're teaching to people. Yeah, get this? Do you get this? So this book is about that. And this is the book, The Go Giver, Penguin publication, Bob Berg and John David. It's a very, very teeny mini book, less than 125 pages. I'm told you all are very avid readers. So I think one sitting book for you guys. For me, it was a one sitting book. And again, as I said, this book is not just a story to go into, I know it or I have it shelf. This book is life transforming only when you decide to apply. And all of them are like amazing, 5 laws, amazing. So the book, Go Giver, is about Joe, a passionate salesperson who is achieving targets every single month and is using all the word from the book is clout and leverage to excel. He's a star performer with a great future in the organization and also in the industry. One word that people want to be called as is go-getter. Yeah. How many of you have written this word in your CVs? Go-getter. Yeah, I am a go-getter. How many of you have said this in interviews? So you should take me. I am a go-getter. I will make these things happen. Huh? We used to feel proud about writing this go-getter. I have written go-getter in my CV. All of us, right? So he was a go-getter in the true sense. Yeah. The principle, we all thought it is a corporate way, right? We all thought it's a corporate way. Many of you still think it's a corporate way of saying, I am the kind of person probably you want to recruit because I am a go-getter. The principle of all is fair in love and war. People want to use and abuse the networks to just get that deal by hook or crook, and they say, oh, he's a brilliant salesman. He will get the deal by hook or crook. And that's how the business works. We have this, we shrug and we say, oh, so what? That's how it works. So the book starts, and you be ready for a huge belief system shake when you read this book. The book starts with a scene in the office, and I'm sure most of you have worked in corporates, definitely know and will be able to relate to that first page of the story. One usual day at work when everyone is rushing for their target, forecasting results are out, that mid-month forecasting results when it comes out. And everyone is hustling, wondering, oh my God, I'm far behind my target again this month, And we always keep this some account safe custody, which we do not want to take out. We just keep it for that, safe time. But immediately after forecasting result and after that, big talk of the sales manager and everyone, it happens to everyone, right? After that talk, we just forget, oh, no, this month I have to prove it again. So we just remove all those, hidden accounts. Yeah, all of you can relate to it, right? When every call and every minute is precious. So this hero of the book, Joe, is in midst of such a day, full of hustle with a fantastic last month record and still struggling for this month's target. You can relate to this? I was. Always some critical deadline I had to meet, always and always. Joe was desperate. He was achieving targets every single month, but still every month starts with this fear and a strange stress. Yeah. Amazing, right? How this works. Every time, every month it's a stress, right? A good house, a lovely wife, a very decent bank balance, but nothing was comforting for him. He didn't even had time to enjoy any of these because every month he was working hard and harder for the next critical deadline. That's how this book starts. And I was exactly here when I got this book. I was exactly in the same point. And perhaps that's why this book made a lot of sense to me, because I was actually looking for an answer. I was getting fed up. Enough was enough, I was doing a lot of going, but not a lot of getting, go-getting. I was a go-getter. Joe was looking for an answer too. He was stuck for that month's target. Then there is this another character in the story. We all have this character in our offices, a senior person. We all have this senior person in our organization who knows everyone, who has a corner office and who's usually chilled and very, very well connected. So Joe approached this character. This character's name is Gus here. And Joe asked Gus, I'm stuck. I do not know. I see you every month. You're chilled out. How does it work for you? I mean, I'm working so hard. And Gus says, Joe, you are a go-getter. I think I know where do you need help. And he told him, you need to go and meet this gentleman called Chairman. Chairman is another character in this entire story. He's a person like Warren Buffett, respected, experienced, and wise. Now, Joe agreed to meet this person for a very, very selfish reason. He thought he can use clout and leverage of Chairman to get a big account, which he was eyeing since long, and he called that account Big Kahuna. But, as Joe is all out there for a very big surprise, and that was a turning point of his life, a breakthrough that is life transforming. Chairman met him and said, we'll share the secret of success with you on one condition. You don't just think about it or talk about it, but you will apply each one of the law every single day. So Joe says, okay, I have to apply every law every single day, and the next day I have to come and meet you. But how will you know if I don't apply them? And Chairman says, yeah, you're right, I won't. But you know what? You will. You will know whether you have applied it or not. How profound, right? I don't know how you felt, but I had tears in my eyes when I read this line. And I told myself, I will apply every single law because I'm here to change. I'm not here to just read this book and put this in, one of the I know it shelf and not experience the success. All these people who mentioned in this book that they have experienced, people like David Bach, people like Stephen Covey, if they have to say this book is life transforming, organization that applied the learning of this book in their mentor sessions, in their management style, and they said they have brought amazing shift in this entire profit that they were making in their business. So I was like, there is no reason for me not to apply these law and not experience the entire change. Every dialogue of this book is profound, deep, gives goosebumps, and only and only if you are really seeking. Me, it bring me into tears. I do not know how are you going to read it, but any of you, I do not know how many of you will read. Any of you who is really looking for that break, who is trying to build a big business, who is trying to build a relationship, who is trying to get to the next level of their life. And if you do not know what to do, and if you are really tired of just talking and thinking about these things, and if you really want to introspect and bring a life transforming change, then this book will help you. To start with, Chairman says, secret to success is giving. And he says, you might find it difficult to absorb. And why not? Most of us, right? If someone tells you secret to success is giving, like, what? Seriously? I'm not asking for secret to become pauper. By giving, I'm told I'm going to lose everything. And you're saying I'll get successful by giving? And then he say, but then you know what? Most of us are not anywhere near to what they call success. Now that was an amazing line, right? You become answerless after that. This is how this book starts. And the following days, Joe meets 5 different people, 5 different personalities that Chairman took him to. And he learned 5 laws of success from each one of them. And Joe understood it is not for me to tell Chairman that I have applied. It is, if I want to change my life, I have to apply every single one of them. And because he applied every single one of them, at the end of the 5th day, he saw the success. He saw that breakthrough in his life, that life transforming breakthrough. The format of the book is, simple. The age-old Joseph Campbell, I'm sure there are authors here, The Hero's Journey, Joseph Campbell, The Circle, The Whole Circle, high to ground zero, to meet an angel, apply the magic, come out victor. The same story, The Same Circle, Hero's Journey. This book is exactly the same format. And I'm not going to share the story with you, nothing else, because I want you all to read the book and get the learning yourself. And let me give you a caution. Read this book with an open mind. Be ready to get challenged. It will conflict with some age-old belief system that you have been holding too tight to yourself. You might feel they were all BS, the way I felt, all the old beliefs are really BS. It is a journey from go-getter to go-giver. Thank you so much. Namaste. Anything else, Anil?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
That
you,
was
Anu.
an
Thank you.
amazing presentation,
Thank you so
ma'am.
much. I hope, Sanish, it was not a speech. Huh?
No, it was amazing. You had a casual way of interacting with people, and that's how we connect well, right?
Yes.
Better than the lectures, we connect well with casual talks and friendships.
Yes.
Yeah, and it was amazing with the village of ducks. You took us to the village of ducks and to also told us about the do, be, and have law. And it was amazing. I am pretty sure that a lot of people are waiting to give their suggestions, but because we are just shooting time, I would quickly move on to the next speaker and come back again for
Yes.
the reviews and suggestions.
Thank you.
for the next to invite the next speaker. And thank you, Anu, once again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anu, for that wonderful book review. That was a typical book review and a typical Anu's product. Nice to hear it. Coming to our second speaker, Ms. Ruth Fernandez. I have heard great things about Ruth. I had a conversation with Ruth in the afternoon today. Ruth is a career transition coach, counselor, and of course, a Toastmaster. Ruth is going to review the book, Lady, You Are the Boss. This particular book is very inspirational one, pragmatic and extremely exciting, would I say. Highly recommend to everyone, not only for women. Enjoy the great book with the powerful Ruth Fernandez. Ruth, welcome to eBookery.
Good evening, everyone, everybody present. And I must say a huge thank you to Anu Shibi, who spoke earlier. I have to fit into your booths now, and that would be a tall order, I think. Can you hear me? Can you all hear me?
Yes, yes.
You're very clear.
Okay, thank you. So, thank you very much for this opportunity to be here and speak to you. This is a book that was given to me again as a New Year gift by my daughter-in-law, a tongue-in-cheek book, in fact, because of the title. But I really enjoyed reading that book, and I thought that I would share it with you. Now, the book, the name of the book, I'd like to show you what the book looks like. Lady, You're the Boss. It is written by Apurva Purohit. Apurva Purohit is, I would love to say that she's like every one of us, but she is a super woman who has achieved a lot in her life. She's an alumnus of IIM Bangalore and has had an outstanding career to date. She's at the pinnacle of her career by being, at the moment, the president of the Jagran Group. If you know about it, it's one of India's leading multimedia conglomerates. And she's worked with very many other media companies, including Z. She's worked with Lodestar, where she turned around the business. Even Z was turned around by her. She was the CEO there. And she's also had leadership roles with Radio City. So any of the big names in the media world in India, and she's had a hand in it. She, apart from that, let me just read it out to you. She's on the board of very many profit and not-for-profit organizations like Mindtree, Midday Infomedia, Music Broadcast, and also, most importantly, she's mentored a number of women in the workforce, more than 10,000 whom she's mentored to become better women leaders in the corporate world. As she grew up in her career, from the time that she took up her books give you examples, personal examples in her own life, and she hopes that people who read her book can recognize the situations that she has been in and correlate it to what you and I do. What resonated with me is that some of those examples that she gave were so similar to some of the examples that I've experienced in my own personal life as well as professional life. So I didn't want to laugh. I just had a smile on my face. Some of them were really humorous, and some of them really touched my heart. So at the outset, I normally never read the end of the book first, but I'd like to read the epilogue of this book to you so that you understand what the book will all contain. And I'm not spoiling the story. It is not a story. It's a number of short stories explaining and giving examples of life in the corporate world for a woman. And it doesn't necessarily, this book is about the corporate world in India, but it doesn't necessarily have to apply to only India. It could apply to us here in the Middle East as well, because we are the same people who work here too. And I do believe people of other nationalities women of other nationalities and leaders of other nationalities have the same experiences, the same problems, the same issues. Going back, let me just read out this epilogue, and I'm reading it out to you. She says, "This book is not a guide or a lesson on whether the choices you made or the goals you sought were right or wrong, good or bad. I wrote this book to tell you that you and you alone should have the power and the authority to make that choice. Without the baggage of expectations, without the affliction of being seen as a woman in a largely male dominated world." And I'll leave the rest to you to read in the epilogue. So let me just divide my entire discussion because I know there is a paucity of time. So, first of all, I've talked to you about the lady who written the book, and all of the inspiration for this book comes from her own personal experience and the experience of the young generation that has worked under her. This book, Lady, You're the Boss, is a sequel to another book, which is Lady, You're Not a Man. She started writing that book first because she was mentoring a lot of people working under her, and people who would come, I mean, women working under her, and women would come and ask her, "How do you manage your life? How do you manage being such a senior person at work and manage your home, your husband, your family, your mother in law? How do you do it all and have a smile on your face?" And that's how she started writing that book. The problems that she had in her personal life are the same problems that we do have. Now, I can see a number of men in the audience. Do not think that this book is not meant for you. This book is divided into two sections. The first section talks about all the issues that women experience and why they experience those issues. And it'll be really good for men to understand that, not only as a partner in a corporate company or a colleague in the corporate world, but also as a husband to a wife who's working, who's a professional. The so the first part is all about that. The second part is very interesting. And I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen present here, that this book, the second part, is not just meant for women. It is meant for all leaders, not just CEOs. Anyone who's a manager, who's managing, can take all the advice that she's given in part two. So, part one is what we experience in our daily life. Part two is how to be a better corporate ladder. I would like even the gentleman to read it. By the way, I just checked on Amazon today and I was told that there's only one copy available online on sale. That's how popular the book is. Um, she also says, I'll just do another quotation. In the book, she says, "In a lot of ways, this is my memo to all the women out there, exhorting them to stay the course, no matter the odds. I'm often the only female in a boardroom, and it's a painful reminder to me of the daily battles of petty prejudices and subconscious biases that have driven so many women out of offices and bonsaied them into predefined roles of wife, mother, sister, and supporter." Now, you have to understand one thing, that this book doesn't blame the man or the male corporate colleague or the male corporate CEO. It's not a blame game at all. It is it is talking about reality and how we women diminish ourselves with all the complexes that we come along with into the corporate world. So I'd like to delve into some of them right now. One very interesting factor at the very outset is in chapter one, and wouldn't want to spoil the reading for you if you buy the book. But she talks about the very beginning, and I do believe that she's right because I'm a student of psychology. And this is a philosophy brought about by Carl Jung. So she says, Centuries ago, we were cave dwellers. The women stayed at home, took care of the family. The extended family became a community, like a village, and the men were hunters and they went away. So they were the ones who were brave and courageous. The women too were brave and courageous, but the thing is that they had to do all the work at home: cook, clean, wash, take care of the elders and the children. Everything was in their hands. They had to be organized. They had to do all of these different things to keep the hearth, the fires burning while the husband went out hunting. But the main role was that of the man who went out hunting, brought the food, and gave it to the family. If the male did not bring the food, the family would go hungry. So he played an important role. Now, this is ingrained in our psyche, and we carry this psyche along with us. From generation to generation, we believe that that is how it is, even though we try our best to change the way we look at things. So she talks about that, and I would love you to read that in detail. And she says the main reason is because of that. Also, because of the same reason, because we've had to take care of our families, the in laws, the parents, the husband, the children, so many responsibilities. We kind of take on those responsibilities, and if things go wrong, we blame ourselves. And this is what happens. We never, so first of all, we take on the responsibilities ourselves and blame ourselves for mistakes done, and there's nobody to support us. The second thing is we think that compliments, we are taken aback by compliments. If someone says, "You did a great job," say, "Really?" "Oh, no, no, not at all." Is there any woman here in the audience who will say, "Thank you," very proudly? I've just recently learned to do that. But most women say, "Oh, no, not at all. You look pretty today." "Oh, no, not at all. It's just that I had a good sleep." "Oh, no, not at all. This is a beautiful color that suits me." But nobody will say, "Thank you. I took a lot of trouble dressing up." Something like that. And before I go ahead, there's one point that I forgot to mention. The beautiful thing about this book is that every chapter has a quotation, and I'll show that to you. Every chapter has, I don't know whether you can see it, but every chapter begins with a quotation. And every chapter ends with a synopsis of what is mentioned in the chapter. So in what happens is, this is what helps us. So for example, we are at home and concerned about an issue at work. We are quickly able to gently, just very quickly, go into this book and use it as a reference book and see how we can resolve a problem. It's not that there's a solution there, but just reading through those few points, 4 or 5 points at the end of every chapter, will definitely help us. And I'm speaking to men and women alike. So this is one of the things that, this is something that would be of great advantage to all of us. But at the same time, I advise you to read the book, not just read the points at the end of the chapter. Those are for reference after you've read the book. Each chapter contains wonderful examples that will definitely put a smile on your face, because you have experienced them yourself, whether you're male or female, you've experienced themselves, or you know someone who's experienced themselves. So it really make you smile and make you relate to what she's talking about. I'd like to just harp on some topics more than the other, and that's why I urge you to read the book. The second chapter is about imposter syndrome. I don't know whether you've heard about, has anyone heard about the imposter syndrome? So she talks about the imposter syndrome, and she says all women suffer from the imposter syndrome. And what is the imposter syndrome? It is all about women thinking they're not worthy. So even if they have achieved everything in their life, they feel, "I think I was just lucky to have got this admission in IM. I think I was just lucky to have got my driving license. I think I was just lucky to have got this account," notwithstanding the trouble that one has taken to do all of that stuff. Unfortunately, we women suffer from that kind of a syndrome. And she says, get done with it. Do away with that. Forget about it. Just learn to appreciate yourself more and more. Read that. She's given an example of her own experience when she was in Bangalore, in IIM Bangalore, and how she was able to conquer that. Fortunately, she says that the new millennials, and I know that there are quite a number in this group today, um, she says the new millennials are not that bad. They actually know to appreciate themselves and respect themselves, and it's making life much, much better for women in general in the workforce. She also talks about why we women behave that way. The Indian culture is such, and I do believe that I think the subcontinent, the culture in the subcontinent as well as in the Arab world is such that we tell our daughters to behave, don't speak too much, don't laugh too much, go inside. If there is some male guest that has come in, go inside and sit down, don't show yourself. And so we are taught unconsciously to hide away in the background, to diminish ourselves. And somehow we take this experience into our adult life. Especially when you're growing, a teenage girl grows up and getting into womanhood, and she's kind of hidden away because parents are afraid that some harm may come to her. But what happens is these fears continue in their adult life, and it takes a long time for women to get confident and release this fear from themselves. So that is another chapter that she talks about. There are several other chapters, but I'd like to go into the some of the main salient points, and then maybe we can go back if there is time. The second part, which I said at the outset, is both for men and women alike. There is a quotation from a um, Greek epic. Out of every 100 men, and I'm sure since you all read a lot, you will recognize where it is from. Out of every 100 men, 10 shouldn't even be there. 80 are just targets. 9 are the real fighters. And we are lucky to have them, for they make the battle. Ah, but one is a warrior, and he will bring the others back. Anybody? It was Hercules who said that. So we talk about the second part, which is very interesting and I'm moving to the second part because I can see that the audience is more skewed towards the male. So the second part is something that you would all enjoy. It talks about using tough love. And she starts by talking about parenting, how we as parents, father and mother, try to use both the a loving word as well as, I shouldn't say whip because those days are over and done with, but we give tough love to our children, and sometimes we smother them with love. But as long as we do it at the right time and we have it in the right proportion, we're able to bring up our children very well with the right values. And she says, take that same thought, that same theory into your corporate world. Try and use the same principles there, and you see how the essence of leadership changes. In the present time, you could not be an autocratic leader because I think you will just be shunned and your people will reject you. So because to be a good leader, you also need good team members, good followers. And if your team members do not follow you or understand you, then you cannot be a leader. Forget about being a good leader. And she asks you to do that. She also talks about finding the right mix. That is what I was talking about, parenting. Finding the right mix between discipline and encouragement and showing appreciation. Try and do that in your work life, and I'm sure that will help you be a successful leader. She also says in the second chapter in that part 2 talks about communication. Very important for us to understand about communication. She says it's not enough to have these big PowerPoint presentations when you talk about figures and strategy and what have you, and your entire audience is looking at their WhatsApp messages or their messages on their phone and dealing with that and forgotten all about what you're talking because their attention span is gone. If they have gone, the leader has gone beyond your attention span. Sorry. So she talks about communicating at every level, and she gives an example, a very good example of how she's able to understand the ethos, the culture, the climate in every one of her branch offices, not necessarily sending messages, emails asking leaders or team leaders what to do and ensuring that their members or the team members do what is told to them. She feels it's better while she's entering an office, talking to everyone from the office boy to the administrative assistants to the managers to everyone, and thereby understanding what is exactly happening in the office, in the company, so that she, as a CEO at the very top, understands what's going on right at the base level. I'm sure all of you have heard about Chinese whispers. By the time a CEO percolates, CEO's message is percolated downwards, the value of that message is lost completely. So it's important for a CEO to be highly communicative. CEOs, leaders should be curious, completely curious about what they do and what they ought to be doing. So that's really important. Find out what's happening in the organization. Find out what's happening with the products. What's the market saying? Do not leave it to the members to explain things to them, and lead by example. So she talks about perseverance. So various subjects here that I would really like you to read and understand. Every chapter here has an example, a true life example of her friends who were CEOs and managers, or people who were working under her and were able to come to her with problems and when she was able to resolve them. These are the examples she's mentioned, and I think that they are very valid for all of us to read, read and understand. She goes ahead in talking about planning and preparing for the future, for the year, etc. But what really drew my mind is to this chapter called Kehna, Karna, Nibhana. And she said, if I translate it into English, the actual essence of what I'm trying to say will be lost in translation. So those of you who cannot understand Hindi, I will just explain. Kehna is to say, Karna is to do, and Nibhana is to keep that promise. And she is translated into two words: consistent commitment. And she feels that this is what we should do, and we should be able, as leaders, as the CEOs or the leaders, the managers, the team leaders, we have to follow the KKN formula to be really successful as leaders. And if we do this, then definitely our messages will supersede everything else that happens in the company. And it'll create a value system in the organization which is quite different from everything else that people have experienced. There's a beautiful example that she's given along with this, but I'd like you to read that rather than me talking about it. There's a whole chapter on KKN. And so the book ends, and she talks about the ultimate trait of a leader is personal accountability, where she says she, because she's talking about herself, or women leaders, where she takes complete charge of her destiny and also the destinies of the people around her. Externalizing problems, like giving excuses and saying it was somebody else's fault, not hers, is not the done thing. You have to take ownership for what you do, and only accepting responsibility for both the good and the bad is what will make you a good leader. Now, these ideas, these thoughts, I think are valid whether you're a male or a female. And that is it about Lady You're the Boss. If I had the time, I tell you lots of stories that she's given, but read the book and it'll really be inspirational for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Ruth ma'am. That was an amazing presentation and an amazing book that you have presented now. And yes, now we can go for the review from the audience. Now, who would like to give a review for the books? I would suggest one person for the first book and one for the second. Who would want to go first? Any volunteers, or should I choose the volunteer now? Nias? Nias, you there? How did you find both the books?
It was truly fantastic. In fact, though it was given the name, I was reading all the while it was a go-getter, not as a go-giver, to be honest. Our mind said that, go-getter every time. Anyhow, it was really fantastic. The only thing is that Anu did not disclose that five principles which Joe got from the chairman. Truly, that untold piece of it would allow, would encourage us to go and pick the book. Definitely, I'll have to read the book. We are all people who are working on a target. Every month we have a target. Every day we have a target. So this is a must-read book for anybody, anyone. Not only the person who works on a target, anyone who wants to go to the next level. We are all here for a purpose. But purpose is very simple. We need to go to the next level. So it's a truly a wonderful book for anybody who wants to go to the next level. That's what we understood from Anu. Fantastic narration from Anu. The author or whoever the publisher of the book, they are indebted to Anu, because Anu is really promoting the book well. Truly wonderful, and Sanish made all the points very clear when Anu done with her presentation. The points, we'll not go back to the quack again. That's one thing we always need to note. Like, we are learning many things on every week. Today we had a wonderful session from Manu and Ruth ma'am. Whatever we learned today, that we need to apply in our life. And I really love that shelf. I know it's shelf. Even I also have a shelf here. I know it because I got a lot of books over here. And whatever the people speak about, the attitude, positivity, and everything, I always feel like, I know it. I know it. But when it comes to application, and we are all a backseat driver. So it was truly an eye-opener. Thank you so much, Anu Shibi, for the wonderful presentation. And you really made all of us curious that, we wanted to go and pick the book and read. I'll leave Ruth ma'am's that book to somebody else to present it. Somebody else to give that opinion on that.
Yeah, I would like to call Sindhu ma'am. Sindhu ma'am is a regular attendee. Sindhu ma'am, I'm trying to unmute you. Yeah, you can unmute yourself, Sindhu ma'am. What do you think about the Lady You're the Boss?
Thank you, Sanish. For the second book, actually, these are the problems always encountered by women. But I think over the time, it has changed now. And rather than getting troubles from from men or CEOs, it's actually the sympathy and yes, she is a woman. That sympathy you get from others, that is more troublesome than getting the other part of it from the men. So definitely I'm going to read the book. Two books, of course, Anu's also, and about Anu's also. It is when we do not become self-centered, And when we contribute to others, that we actually have a value to ourselves. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sindhu ma'am, for that review. I would like to invite anyone, if anyone is willing to give a feedback, I would like to invite. I think we have a very silent crowd today. So before I move on to the vote of thanks, I would like to take a feedback of Anu ma'am. How do you think we performed? What do you think about our platform? And will you be coming back again?
I'm not someone who give book reviews, Sanish, and I feel an author should be the one giving the book reviews. I'm a friend of Anil, and I can't say no to him when he asks me, and that's the only reason why I'm here. But I do feel, Hindi make. I don't know how many of you speak Hindi. There is a term, "Jiska kaam usi ko saje." I don't know how many of you understand Hindi here, but I guess authors are the right people to give reviews of the book. I'm a coach. You call me as a coach, I will come to give my workshops. Thank you so much. It's a fantastic platform, but just don't make it like another talk shows. That's my only humble request and suggestion to the lovely facilitators here. I know Anil, he's very passionate about what he's doing, and he has a lovely ambition to, create an empowered community. And I hope you all have the same mission. As long as you do that, I guess it's fine. Otherwise, just don't make another talk show. It's so many talk shows around. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anu. Thank you.
Thank you, Anu ma'am. I would like to take the feedback from Ruth ma'am as well. Like how did you feel we're presenting here? How did you feel the crowd was and the response was?
I was very comfortable because this is not the first time I've come here. Well, this is the first time I'm giving a book review, but I've come here before to listen to other speakers give a book review. I've also been attending some of your empowerment talks, especially in the previous months when we first started out, and we got busy and we couldn't attend. But at the outset, we used to, I think my colleagues and my friends and I would attend. So I have a sense of familiarity with all of you, though I don't know you all, but I've seen you all on screen. And I know it's an amazing, you'll have created an amazing platform for people to get advice and for people to give advice. It's a honorable role that you're playing, and the way you help people is simply amazing. So kudos to all of you out there.
Thank you, Ruth madam. Yes, now before proceeding with the vote of thanks, I would like to share my screen again and share with you our next week's speakers. We have Federico with the book Your Next 5 Moves, and we have Venkat Kumareshan with Father of Your Team. So these will be our next two books. And to do the vote of thanks, let me call upon the most important person in the club who does all the posters, who designs our very attractive posters and circulates it among all the social media platform. Vinisha, over to you, Winnie. She like to call herself Winnie the Bee, Winnie B.
Thank you, Sanish, for the wonderful introduction. Thankfulness is the beginning of gratitude. Gratitude is the completion of thankfulness. Thankfulness may consist merely of words, but gratitude is shown in acts. Uh, Thank you to our wonderful speakers for coming on this platform today and giving an amazing review on two wonderful books, Go Giver and Lady, You're a Boss. I can say both of you ladies, you are boss. Thank you, Anu Abraham, for empowering and inspiring review on the Go Giver book. You gave us a breakthrough and epiphany moment. Thank you for sharing your personal experience and how this book has changed your life. I'm sure most of us will read this book and transform our life and to get challenged in our life. And once we read the book, we will surely let you know. And thank you, our amazing and rock star Toastmaster Ruth Madam, an amazing Toastmaster for the splendiferous review on Lady, You Are a Boss. I can say, Lady, you are a boss. How can I forget our wonderful participants who made this possible and made it successful event. Thank you everyone for attending. And I saw many of our past speakers who were there with us today, who are not here right now. I would also like to thank them all. And I would thank all the team of eBookery and Empowerment Talk, Fazil Ibrahim, Yash, Anil Sir, Santosh, Niaz, Jayashri, Sarita, and all the ones who make it possible every week. It's a team effort. Teamwork is the dream work, as someone said. And I also want to thank our viewers on YouTube who are watching it online on YouTube. Thank you, everyone.